She has spent over 6 decades being one of the most joyful, generous, and seemingly unshakable human beings in the entire history of American entertainment. But behind the rhinestones, the humor, and the enormous talent, Dolly Parton is also a woman who has loved the same man quietly and fiercely for nearly 60 years. And when Carl Dean recently made a confession about their marriage that he had never quite put into words before, it moved Dolly in a way that the whole world could see. Dolly Parton was born on January 19, 1946, in Locust Ridge, Tennessee, the fourth of 12 children raised in genuine poverty in a one-room cabin. She has never pretended that her early life was anything other than desperately hard. But she has also never stopped crediting that hardship as the source of everything she eventually became. She arrived in Nashville the day after her high school graduation and never looked back. What followed is the kind of career that makes superlatives feel inadequate. Over 100 million records sold. 11 Grammy Awards. A Kennedy Center honor. The Dollywood theme park. The Imagination Library, which has donated over 200 million books to children worldwide. And through every single chapter of that extraordinary public life, one constant remained. Carl Dean. Carl Thomas Dean married Dolly Parton on May 30, 1966. He was 22. She was 20. And from virtually that first moment, he made a decision that has defined their entire relationship. He stepped back. Completely and without apparent resentment, Carl Dean chose a life entirely away from the spotlight his wife was racing toward. He ran an asphalt paving business in Nashville. He avoided cameras. He declined interviews. He became, in the most literal sense, the best-kept secret in country music. For decades people wondered about him. Was he real? Was the marriage genuinely happy? Was there something being hidden behind the carefully maintained privacy? Then Carl spoke. And what he confessed, quietly and with the plain-spoken directness of a man who has never had any use for performance, was simply this. That he had loved watching Dolly become everything she was always going to become. That his greatest pride was not anything he had built or achieved himself but the front-row seat he had to her life. That choosing to stay out of her spotlight was never a sacrifice. It was, he said, the easiest decision he ever made. Dolly, hearing those words, did not laugh it off or deflect with a joke the way she so often does when emotion threatens to surface publicly. She got quiet. And then she cried. Because the woman who has written some of the most beautiful love songs in American musical history was hearing, perhaps more plainly than ever before, that the great love of her life had always seen her exactly as clearly as she had always hoped. Nearly 60 years together. And somehow, it still had the power to leave her speechless.